All right, hello. We should be live. Welcome to Losers Finals for Season 7 of Scrim Zone. It is going to be MVP versus Metabusters. I believe Metabusters has selected Red Side for the first game. Rosters are in, I'm pretty sure. So I should be able to check these out. Key player for the Metabusters is going to be none other than Fujer. 29 champions played, 62 games played, 58% win rate, pretty solid, 3.5 KDA, very impressive. Top played champions are Senna, Nautilus, and Braum in this role, but I believe he's playing ADC this time around, so Senna and Lucian are going to be the expected bans coming out here. Other champions to watch, the Neela, Silas, Pike, also Hui for Evan, honorable mention. And then we do have Wukong and Gragas are also ones to watch out for in the jungle. For MVP, PB tends to play a lot of tanks and Karma. Moving over to Metabusters, we do have the Darius from Korn. Korn also a pretty big Renekton player. Joey Zack is pretty scary. He's not been really playing it recently, so that could be something to look around. Future Senna we did already mention though, but Noam's Nautilus is something that is quite scary, 12-2 overall. And Tusini 3-0 on Syndra, but has a massive champion pool, super hard to draft around him. Draft should be about right now actually, so I'm going to try and pull that up. I'm not entirely sure what to expect here. I think there's a lot of good options from other teams. Metabusters historically has left up the pike. I'm going to cut back because I think that they might delay a little bit just because rosters took a bit to get out. But the key matchup here is going to be Julian versus Joey. Joey has historically won this majority of the time. 6-2. I believe MVP has not taken a series off of the Metabusters yet, and they have played 3 times. So MVP is definitely going to need to clutch up to win this one. Julian has like a 66% win rate in the jungle in the server though, which is insane. Joey's still looking really good too. He's closer to like I don't know, that's like high 50s, which is super solid. Also, definitely not knocking that. But Joey has slightly outperformed in the head-to-head, although Julian has looked to play more tanks. If he does go for some more aggressive champions, I think we could see better results coming out from him. But we are in draft. Darius is banned away from Korn, which is pretty interesting. Gragas taken away, that's pretty expected. And Vigar was the one champion Tusini's been able to win on twice during the regular season. So that does make a lot of sense there. Wukong also taken away. Lots of bans put towards Julian. They're really trying to make sure that he doesn't get to do what he wants in this series. A huge factor for MVP. It's been looking really good all season. And this final ban against Metabusters really could be anything. Senna is probably what I'm hoping for. Yeah, and we do see that locked in. This is could be Hui, could be Neela, could be anything, I guess, but those could be some easy ones. It is Hui. Makes sense. I don't know if MVP necessarily would flex it, but they can definitely threaten to, which makes drafting quite a bit harder. Neela is hovered here, and it is going to be locked in. Hopefully for Metabusters, they do have a counter to this. I would expect them to, as they did leave it up, and it's a very known pick. We're picking Xayah in 2024, though. Xayah Rakan. At the beginning of the season, the story around these two champions was the only thing bad about Rakan is that people get baited into picking Xayah with him. Rakan has lost about 3 win rate percent since then, and Xayah is still one of the worst ADCs in the game. So we'll see how this goes. It could be a little bit bait, but if MVP feels like they need to force their hand, I think it's kind of stuck here. I really do like the pike here. Rakan's going to be able to give like a slight amount of healing, but nothing really messes with Pike's thresholds there. Rakan is a pretty good matchup into Pike. Just because you're able to keep people alive, you're able to block hooks and then come back. Rakan just tends to do pretty well into a bunch of hook champions, but I do just think the Neela and the Pike have a comfort factor that's super powerful here. Olaf could technically be going top lane, but I'm pretty sure this is just an early lock for Julian. Metabusters might look to counter it, but I'm not really sure what's in mind versus the Olaf, but the Viego could be good here. I don't really know the matchups here. Not super knowledgeable about the jungle personally. I think it's probably slightly Viego favored, but I can't imagine it's too good. Joey's Viego is insane though. It is his top choice here. None of his champions were banned out. Yasuo taken away. Not really sure I like that, but you could get a huge Wombo combo, but I think it completely messes up your damage type. Possible that Metabusters isn't really looking to draft a lot of tanks, so the damage spread doesn't matter too much, which, fair play. Silas is still on the table, a really good champion for Valor. Renekton is taken off the board for Corn. They are focusing him down, but the Silas is going to be taken away here. So Valor's Shampoo is definitely cut into it. Those are his two most comfortable champions taken off the board there. We're going to have to see something else come out from him. This last ban is probably going towards Tusini or Corn. Focusing down Corn's Shampoo makes a lot of sense. We've probably hit the bottom of the barrel here, which means Dr. Mundo. I don't know if we're going to see that slammed immediately, but it is always a possibility. But Metabusters taking their time with this pick. I don't think they're super comfortable with it. In my opinion, I think you give counter to Tusini. He's a really big performer on this team. And yeah, the Scion is just locked in here. Not the Mundo like we were expecting. But Scion does pretty much the same thing in a bit of a better champion. Yeah, and Cassandre just being picked up for PB isn't super surprising. Getting frontline, you do want something with range being locked in here as their last pick. It's something that you're severely lacking in this team comp. A bunch of melee champions. Honestly, that could have been an angle for Metabusters to just keep drafting more range here. But I don't really know if Corn plays any range tops. Yeah, and Ori's pretty good. Or Oriana's really good here, especially if you have a bunch of other melees, because you can just slap the Oriana ball. I really love Oriana Nila. It's a really solid combo here. Huge comfort for this entire team here. I think Julian's the only one that's like really super far off his comfort. Obviously, Valerie's not one of his like most well-known picks, but it's not like his Oriana's bad. For sure, it's one of his better mages. Kassadin is being picked up here. I'm not sure how big of a fan I am of it, but if you're able to get to the late game, I think it gives you a lot of power. But if you look at the late game scaling from MVP, you got a lot of heavy hitters over there too. So you know, bad day to be an early game champion. Hopefully, I got the client open fast enough that they'll invite me. But we will see. These team comps look incredibly fun. There's not like a clear favorite in my opinion. I like MVPs a bit better, but I think they're gonna have struggles pushing into Metabusters, which I think is a big downside. And I think Metabusters just doesn't really have much that they can do. I think you want someone with a bit more early game presence, or just like initiation power that can set up for the Viego to really get him resetting. And I don't think you have quite the burst that you'd normally want with him. But I think it's a bit of a downside also. But both teams, pretty solid overall. Strong scaling picks. We're definitely going to see some really good team fights towards the end of this game. And I think it will definitely set the tone for the series quite well. Alright, and then moving on to the shape highlights. We actually don't have any matchups for Olaf and Viego and Cassante and Sion, which is a bit surprising. Kassadin has obliterated an Oriana before, which is not super surprising. Neela has outmatched the Xayah despite the alleged favored matchup, and Pyke has absolutely rinsed Rakan, given the same thing. I think if you're comfortable enough to be picking Neela and Pyke, you kind of know how to play into these bad matchups. So excited to see that happen. Horn is actually first timing the Scion, unless he played it last series and it didn't get logged, but I think we should be updated on that. Fujer's first timing the Xayah here is actually hovering like 8 million different champions in the champion select screen, which is kind of funny. If I could get this to pause, that'd be sick. Psychic Carrot 10 and 4 on the Pyke. Historically, Meta Blasters hasn't been too scared of it, but maybe this is the game where they have to change their mind. Evan, only 6 and 4 on the Neela. KDA isn't great, but I think it is a champion that's super volatile and not one of the safer one-trick champions like we see from other people. As I did mention before, like Valoran, Julian, PB, all super comfortable on these champions. Julian has the worst out of all of them, but if all only lost a single game on them. But looking over at Joey, that's the scary one right there. That's 10 and 3 on the Viego. Over a 3 KDA. I believe he got like a pentakill on it recently. Guy is kind of cracked out of his gourd. Insane player. Moving on to the season records, both these tanks in the top lane have done really well. Viego's been really solid. Kassadin, quite good also. Everyone else is kind of towards the 50-50 mark. Pyke has been doing well, but I think that's just Psycho Carrot playing him, if I remember correctly. Moving forward to the player matchups, PB and Corn are actually pretty evenly matched. I think we did see some other people playing in the other series, but everyone else does have that 2-6 record, with the exception of Psycho Carrot not having a great record into Noam, but I think Noam just hasn't been playing support that much. So Psycho Carrot wasn't able to get any wins against them. Maybe this is a bit interesting, like maybe they do match up particularly poorly into that, but I think that was with Hangbaba ADC, and I don't really know how that compares. So just something to keep an eye out. But yeah, the overall records, nothing super surprising. Neela, Pyke, pretty solid. Xayah, pretty fucking terrible, let's be honest. Rakan's pretty even, Kassadin slightly winning. And these two tanks at the top lane still have very similar score lines. Very easy to just weak side them. As you can tell with the not so great KDA, like we're only about like 2.2. Nothing insane there, but pretty solid wins. I think if you know how to play weak side really well, it's easy to get wins with these. Just because a lot of people in the server aren't willing to play these champions, but I think it should pretty much negate out the top lane. I think it is going to come down to the macro skill of these players, and I think PB, especially like coming from support, I think you know a lot more about macro, just because you are supposed to roam a lot more on that role, and with top lane you don't do it as much. So just having that knowledge of how to play the map as the game goes late, and you do get to leave your lane, I think is going to be helpful. And if you're able to get some early game roams off, that's pretty powerful too. But yeah, I think that does cover everything. We're about a minute away from getting into game. Only got 3 viewers here, so not gonna run a prediction. But oh fuck, Stanley's right. Will spectate
right?
break? Yes.
Oh, no. Spectator bug?
Yeah, I don't know. Stanley suggested that we do a poll for if spectator breaks. So instead of predicting who's going to win the series, we're predicting if we get to watch the whole series. Which, you know, real and true. I don't know. This is just showing you a white screen, right? It doesn't work.
Let me look. Yes.
Awesome. I have no clue why it does that. I swear, like, updating OBS was, like, the biggest mistake of my life. Like, whatever. I was like, maybe I should update it so I can get new features. And then, like, it just sucks. Like, it's just bad.
I love updating my software and then it corrupts and breaks. Or just has bad features.
Yep. Oh my god. I was about to lose it. Well, we are loading into this game. I really felt like we weren't there for a second.
A win is a win.
Yeah. I guess I should ping that we're live. So I guess people forget that that's even like possible. Which like me too, so.
Due to the fact that the spectator tool often just doesn't work.
Oh, badass, bro.
I love it when my game runs on fucking Teemos.
Yeah. I don't know. I love the invisible units. Maybe I'll just kick the in-game. We can give a good look at the wonderful skins everyone's chosen. I'm still at 0% loading, which makes me feel like maybe they just hit a pause right away. But historically, if you have the 0% on your screen, that's like good news. It should work. But if they paused within the first 3 minutes, then that would account for this. If they didn't, that's not great. But
here's hoping.
God bless. Alright, we're in good shape here. At least so far. It looks like we are seeing a 5-man invade here, probably from MVP. They're spreading out a little bit. Seem to have some split calls on where to go. Standard 5-point coming out from Metabusters on the other side. So if they're able to catch someone, it should be pretty good. I believe Cassidy is going to spot out 2 of them, so he knows that something's probably up, but doesn't know quite the extent. We could see Noam walk up just a bit too far here. They are rotating Joey down from the top side, and
there's the pause.
Yeah. So this could be good. This could be bad. This could not break anything. We'll have to see. But anyway, this pause is not brought to you by Grubhub or DoorDash because they won't sponsor us. Uber Eats sucks donkey cock. Don't sponsor us, Uber Eats. I don't care. Actually, that's not true. I will take your money gladly. I will make you the based and cool Amumu and not the sad e-boy Amumu. But any delivery services besides Uber Eats, maybe Uber Eats, please reach out and sponsor us. Yes, I'm clip farming with this. Someone post it and like ping, like tweet at someone, I guess. Like, I don't know. Killing time at the pause. Hadiri, what's your read on these 2 teams? Like, what do you think we're gonna see going forward?
I'm interested in, I guess the bot lane and the jungle matchups are the most prevalent to me. Also, invading here, apart from Pyke, their level 1 isn't great. Olaf's skirmishing power level 1 is good, but you're not really looking to, I guess, like, duel their team in their own jungle. I mean, if they are 5, it doesn't really matter as much.
Yeah.
But I think 5-pointing might have been just more beneficial. I think Zyra Rakan's a pretty decent pick into Nyla Pyke, although Rakan Pyke is not favored for Rakan, so that's a little rough.
I thought it was. Maybe I'm wrong. But
I think
historically in this server it's gone poorly, but I think theoretically Rakan should have a lot of advantage into him. But I just think the mobility and being able to shield and heal your ADC is pretty helpful.
Yeah, Rakan Pyke as a matchup has a good win rate, but in the server, I don't think it does.
Right, yeah. I mean, I think oftentimes, like, Zyra Rakan, okay, the hook is going out, is just going to miss, so I don't think they're getting anything here. They get some damage down onto him, but I don't think this is anything significant. He can just pop the base right here. But yeah, I mean, I think Zyra Rakan historically is, like, super bait, because people pick it because they think it's, like, good as a combination, or that they'll, like, magically become better players because they're playing this, like, broken combo or something. And I just don't think it pans out that way. I forgot to remove the pause overlay, but it's entirely possible that the game's just completely broken, in which case it doesn't matter. We can do whatever the fuck we want. But we'll have to watch. Is Julian going to freeze the entire game by walking into this bush?
Olaf should win this.
He definitely should, especially with Orianna there. He does slow him down. We might have to see the flash, but he has flash to follow at this point. But no, it is going to come through. And we get to continue watching the game.
Viego taking a really late reset means he's going to be late for camps. I think Viego could have just gone to either buff. Your passive healing is good enough to where you should be able to heal up, but I understand taking insurance, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're anticipating a skirmish, I think it definitely helps. They do not know how to war. This is double knockup. Pyke hook is canceled by Rakan W there. Evan does have the enhanced range. Zaya is trying to get as much damage as possible. That's a huge chunk, though. They probably should have tried to get the Neela out of there a bit sooner if possible. Metabusters can honestly just walk the lane here and be fine, but they're continuing to chase, trying to get as much damage down as possible. No minions have died yet, so you're not actually losing any XP yet. Neela is who you really want to watch here. She's not going to be able to melee these minions, so the XP sharing definitely isn't going to come through, but she might be in range to pick up the XP. Especially as she's able to walk forward just a bit here. It lets me watch. No, okay, Neela actually did miss some minions here, which is really big for the Metabusters bot lane. Noam does go in and he misses. Hook hits for Psycho Carrot, and Noam is looking to just kill Evan, but Ignite's coming down from Psycho Carrot. Noam's burning down super low, but does hit the level 2, gets some advantage, and looks like no one's going to die there, but huge advantage to Metabusters in the bot lane.
The level 1 taking into Nyla matchup, since you have lethal tempo on Zaya, you win the long trade. I'm surprised he didn't commit like everything to kill her there, but
yeah, I think the Ghost came out pretty late. I think if it was used immediately, would have forced the flash out of Neela, but unfortunately it just didn't come through. Tusini's doing a really good job here, down a few CS, but able to match up in health and mana enough, and that's kind of what you need.
Kassadin pre-back getting the Catalyst to be on, that's where you really like have to wait before you can get 80% state as Kassadin, especially early game. But you might be able to take a more aggressive trade here and still.
Yeah, but now the Orianna passive is just going to be too much. Even if he flash just gets matched, he just holds it. Would prefer to have it up for both later.
Took a lot of shots.
Yeah, really well played by Valley there. You cannot disrespect this man. I know he's had a bit of a rough season, but I think he was just practicing some picks, you know, and now that he's on champions that he's confident on, I think it's looking good for him. Joey is setting up for a gank here. Neela just dashes out. Joey's just trying to get away safe here. For those counting, Neela did catch up in CS. And the fight is breaking out here now. Julian's in a bit of trouble. No ultimate, so the CC is going to affect him, and he's picked up first blood going over to Noam. Or not first blood, because Valor got that. Not bad.
Yeah, that's still a little rough that it went to Rakan, but killing Julian early here is good. Keeps his skirmishing guard from getting out of check. And showing that they can rotate quickly and put a stop to any shenanigans that might happen in the river.
Yeah, if there's any way he can get like ladder, I think that would be helpful. But yeah, anytime spent dead by Olaf is super important because it just puts him behind on XP and items. Psycho Carrot is caught out a little bit low here, but no one falling down low too. Neela does pop the counter strike. Is now running in, looking to get some damage back, but here's where the advantage of Zaya comes in. Just able to outrange, gets a lot of free damage.
Is this better?
I think so, slightly. But now Julian's looking to get his get back. He's running towards Corn. He's able to hit an axe. He should be able to get him. And no, he wasn't able to pick up the axe earlier, so the cooldown's just too high. Joey's getting absolutely chunked on these Raptors, and they're gonna reset. Really good ward from Valor there, being able to spot that out. Grubs are being started up by Olaf on the top side. Tusini's playing a bit aggressively, but Joey is clearing out this ward. It's going to be spotted. I'm not sure that there's any knowledge of Julian being on Grubs, but if it was, they probably wouldn't be going for this play. Bot lane's super low for the side of MVP. Another axe is missed, but this time Tusini does flash. Held it for a good reason, I guess. Sion got a grasp proc, wasn't able to stop the base. That fight mid didn't go in Metabusters' advantage, which basically just means that Julian's going to be able to pick up the rest of the grubs. Not going to have a lot of problems there. Corn's walking down, but probably just going to grab vision. I don't think he has a real way to contest this. Unless he doesn't even have flash, so no way for him to get over the wall.
I'm not really sure how much I like prioritizing grubs here, considering that their team doesn't have any, like any in particular good siege players. Kasante takes Demolish.
No. See, the thing is, you can't sleep on Neela. The fact that Neela Qs hit tower with late game, it is disgusting. That's how we lost versus MVP, for those keeping track. We gave over 6 grubs to a Neela, 1 team fight, and that's the game. It's a bit ridiculous.
In terms of siege, yes, but that game was a little...
Yeah. I don't know. I think It gives a lot of power to Neela specifically, and I just think having it, having extra grubs on a team that doesn't have that much range is helpful because it makes your pushes more powerful when you are able to get them going.
That is understandable. I also think that grubs are mostly picked up for one of two reasons. Either A, you have a lot of split push power, or B, you have characters that can utilize the tower plates. But since Xayah or Khan have a generally better hold pre-level 6 than they do, they're not going to be able to get plates unless they kill them both and just push in hard.
Yeah, 100%. Dragon is picked up here by Joey. I guess at the cost of like his mid laner's health bar. This is looking a little rough for Tusini. Shockwave coming through, and that's just going to be a kill if Valor flashes for it. I didn't auto. Hate to see it. Tusini able to get away with that.
Would an auto have killed there?
Yeah. It was ramped up pretty high. Ori passive does fucking numbers. PB and Core just beating each other up in the top lane. Huge CS leads in the solo lanes for MVP. Joey actually does have the slight advantage in the jungle, and Xayah is obviously going to have the advantage over Neela. It's tough for Neela to farm, just because of the range disparity. Pyke looking for a hook. Future is taken in. Does have to burn the ulti. Neela actually just does get caught up by the root. Is going to look to dash in. Does have the ultimate available. Just insta cleanse. Future has to flash out of it. Psycho Carrot is in 6 range. Is going to get Noam, but does die to it. That's a trade. Kill going to the ADC. Kill going to Pyke. But your cut is given over to Neela, so you're actually in pretty good shape there.
Provided Neela doesn't get all in.
Yeah, I mean she should be fine. That's all ADC summoner spells burned and double ignite from the supports.
That was the cleanse. Did they just cleanse ignite? I didn't see when they cleansed. Hopefully it wasn't during the knockout.
It might have been the Xayah root. No, because they didn't cleanse that. It might have been the ignite. Future is going to get hooked there. So we heard about the Neela getting all in, but Neela can just pop the Jaxi counter-strike and pick up the easy kill. That's a huge overstay from Xayah there. Part of why this counter is so good does revolve around the playstyle of not making many mistakes. If Neela's able to get the snowball off, you can get in a lot of trouble. And Psycho Carrot is just walking in Noam here. A lot of MetaBusters members rotating down to help on this, but Pyke is probably fine. A very mobile champion, but is actually just face tanking Gazin in here. Was not able to get the stun off, but he should have the movement speed. It's just going to flash to make sure. Good rotate from Tusini.
Glad he didn't greed and go into the enemy jungle, though. He probably would have collapsed on quickly.
Oh yeah, exactly. I think if anyone's able to do it, it's Noam. Has flash, has like 8 million dashes, but definitely better to not greed for it. Neela is the first one with an item. Orianna got it at about the same time. These two champions are scary. But Evan just taking a huge chunk of damage there. No real purpose behind it. Just unfortunate. Didn't know the spacing. And Valor is chunking the hell out of Tusini here. Playing lane super well. Joey going in on the Psycho Carrot here. Still not able to find the hook. He was stealthed, so no way to know it. And they are committing for 6 scrubs here, and this is going to be a huge fight. You do have Shockwave available. That's going to be the biggest ability here. Pyke ult's huge, but it only hits 1, but it hits exactly who you need to. But Joey's able to get 1 reset. He stops the Pyke. No ultimate is going to be available for him. He's able to get the second kill here, healing up a little bit. And it's just Orianna Kansate, but Joey falls down super low. He is going to fall. Tusini looking in. PB trying to get as much as he can out of this, but he's falling down super low. He's about to die. The shield does come through, and that's 2 kills for MVP. And this could be a solo kill on the bot side for Evan. But Evan is able to dodge out of the root, and Valor's fishing for this. Noam down super low. A couple abilities is going to put him in the grave. At the very least, grubs are stopped. I don't think there's any way for MetaBusters to take them. So MVP trying to double down on this. Huge shutdown on Valor's back after that play. And it looks like MVP's just going to start it right back up. They didn't like that they didn't get it last time. Noam actually here on low HP. Cyan also enabled to back. Everyone else is just walking back with full health bars. Valor just didn't even take damage in that fight. And this should be pretty clean for MVP. It's possible Joey flashes over the pit. There is a blast gun available too, but you're going into the entire team if you do that, so it's a bit risky. And yeah, they're just going to rotate down, try and prioritize this dragon that's about to spawn in 10 seconds.
I don't know how much I like Pyke roaming a lot here, because it's...
Neela passive?
Yeah, that's what's hurting me right now, because if you're picking a Neela lane, you really don't want to be roaming very much. And Psycho Carrot tends to roam a fair bit on Pyke, and Pyke's generally a roam champ anyway, so it seems kind of counterproductive.
Yeah, I mean, the way I'm looking at it is they already have a 1-level lead on both champions, and Evan just gets the solo kill, so clearly it doesn't matter too much. And Neela ultimate is still available, didn't even have to be used there. Future held his ultimate for that interaction. I think that just secures this dragon for MVP, honestly. I don't know how you can test the Neela ult.
Since Neela W walks route, do you just
it doesn't?
hold it?
He just dodged it.
Oh, really? It looks like he just tanked it.
Yeah, I mean, okay, we're already behind on time, so we can just watch this. Alright. There's 2 feathers behind him. Yeah, and then just... Actually did hit the root, he just buffered his E. I think if he didn't buffer his E... is this normal speed? No, that's slow. Okay. I think if he didn't buffer his E, he actually dodged through, but I don't think he gets the kill. The one interaction I'm unsure of is if Xayah feathers from her passive still go off if the auto attack is blocked. I don't know if you know or not, but I'm unsure. Psychic Carrot caught out a little bit here. She does have a lot of mobility. It's going to be really hard for them to catch him.
Being 3-0 and already having fully stacked steroids is really rough.
Yeah, this is quite funny. Valor did actually get that dodge from him. Susini falling down super low. The auto's doing so much damage, that's another solo kill for Valor. The disrespect here is a bit crazy.
Orianna already has 3-0, you can see a fully completed Seraphs. I don't think that you fight there, even if you do fight, I don't think you're going to be able to get out.
The Seraphs didn't even pop, by the way. Like, he was completely fine. PB's looking for this, but it's just going to unstoppable out. Joey's here, but PB should have an easy time here. He's probably just going to grab the plate and try and ult someone over the wall here. They're trying to space him so that he can't, and yeah, he is going to get grabbed here. Gets the unstoppable off, but he's just trying to run away with it. Greeted just a bit too much there, so, picked up by Joey. Unfortunate miss by Psychic Carrot there for him. Not going to be able to find this kill. They probably just want to get to tower and get some damage down onto it. And here's where the grubs really kick in. Neela getting so much damage up to this tower. But Psychic Carrot is grabbed up by the root. Still has a lot of mobility though. Going to be hard for him to get picked up. For those wondering why Pyke gets Neela passive, it just helps him heal with his W passive faster. It doesn't increase the threshold. He just heals it quicker. Julian does have to pop ulti, he falls down super low. Shield does come through. Susini going in deep, trying to pick up the kill. Is taking a lot of damage from tower, isn't going to fall. Psycho Carrot able to get 1 kill with his ult. Future able to pick something up. But Psycho Carrot probably wants to chase Susini here, but it can be a bit risky. He's stealth, so he's not going to find him, and boom, just through the fog. Susini not respecting the Pyke reset on the board. And now Valor's going for this tower, again getting pinched on by Sion and Diego. He's in a bit of trouble here, but he almost just one-shots Valor. Huge stun coming out from Psycho Carrot, forces out Future's ultimate. Future is walking behind. Psycho Carrot almost picks it up, but no double kill for the Xayah. Valor's falling down super low. He's in a bit of a rough spot. Joey falling down quite low, but now he's a very fed Orianna. PB can try to look for this still. Does have the empowered Q3. Not going to get it though. And Joey is just trying to chase him down. Now the Seraphs pops for Joey. And now PB's falling down. Able to get picked up by Joey once again. 5 kills for Joey. And I think whoever just showed up, can't even tell who it was. Julian is now just getting added to the kill count there.
What's your money on the fed Orianna? Fed Diego.
Yeah, I don't know. This looked really good for MVP, and then they just handed over a ace. Like, I don't know. That's a bit rough for them.
Your neck with that one. That's like, that's rough.
Yeah, you hate to see it, honestly. Like, just as a League player, having a huge lead and then every single member of your team dying, that just hurts to watch a little bit.
Yeah, I have to agree on that.
Yeah, and I would say, like, if it's just Orianna and Diego that are fed, I think Orianna's probably a better bet. But the Xayah just got a shit ton of gold, too. And that is what would really concern me here. It is about 3k in favor of Metabusters. Slightly less after Evan just took the side lane tower. But it's 3 towers to 1 in favor of Metabusters also. And the map control they're going to get from that is insane. It's really hard for MVP to push forward with how many melee champions they have. But yeah, if you look at the 1v1, Joey takes like a single orb to the face and he like loses 400 HP. It's a bit rough there.
Even the Kassadin with natural MR is just getting chunked.
Yeah, it's rough. The Orianna is so bad.
I don't know how much. Are you supposed to go Ionian boots on Kassadin?
I don't know. I don't really pay attention to Kassadin things.
That's very fair.
Valoran does have Shockwave, but he's just going to focus on getting the tower. Saving it for a team fight. Very smart move, especially with 1. Probably about to happen in 20 seconds over this dragon. Joey walking up, looking to start something. Shockwave didn't go down there, would have been huge, but didn't come through. Corrin has TP, Cassante doesn't, so PB's job is to cancel it if it does come through. And Hope coming in onto Joey, they got him stunned, Shockwave comes through and are able to pick off the shutdown. Julian's running into the back line, he's super low health, he's able to get out. Fuju just blind blade caller, maybe there's an angle there, but super unfortunate fight for Metabusters. Joey just getting picked off right away, and that is the champion on their team that they care about the most. PB just grabbing Corrin, pulling him into tower, and he is now going to have healing, which is really good into tanks. Psycho Carrot and ambitious ultimate there. Noam's super low. Cyan has to ult away. Evan's able to pick up 1 kill in the fight. Julian's now falling down super low onto the dragon. Probably going to die, but now he gets speed boosted by Orianna. And now Tusini has to flash out. Fujer and Tusini trying to get something in, but the hook comes down onto Tusini. Or onto Fujer. He gets picked off, but now Neela ult goes onto the back and kills them both. They're able to pick up dragon, and they even out the kills and claim themselves a gold advantage. Cyan was able to get out with his ultimate, but that's the only good news for Metabusters in that scenario besides the kill onto Psycho Carrot.
That was a bit overzealous to walk up that close to... Well, first face checking that bush when you saw that they were posturing bot side for dragon, and then secondly walking as an ADC, just walking up near the Drake pit.
Yeah.
I feel like you're just asking to get slapped.
Yeah, I mean, you see Julian at like 200 HP and you're like, I can kill him. Guys, it's Olaf and he has a Orianna right next to him. It's going to be a lot harder than you think it is. Reasonable mistake to make though. Definitely understand it, but come playoffs time, small mistakes like that do get punished. As a Rift Sharks member, I would know that. PB really just desperately wants to get a kill in this lane. Has been unable to kill Sion. Corrin making horrible use of his passive. The Celestial opposition on Gnome has been popped. Now Joey is looking for this pick on Cassante. Joey might be able to hit this. No, PB is just running around in a fucking circle. He's got Ghost, he's got a TP coming in. But Joey might be able to just snag this. And the ult from Joey just comes through immediately. They're looking to get something down here, and Olaf and Pike are wrapping around. All they have to do is like auto the tower like once, and it's gone. This could be really big. No one's on the backside of it. Joey falls down to about half. Shockwave just missed everybody. Joey's still trying to run away. Julian looking to chase, but no, they're just going to let this fizzle. Flash is taken off of Diego though, which is huge. That's probably the biggest win here across either team. The teleport burned for Valor is pretty good too, but I value Diego's flash slightly more. There's just like a fist bump like hanging in the air. I don't know if that's like normal.
It died.
It's gonna pet. Oh, it pet Joey's head.
This is what happens when you don't high-five your teammates, it just dies, and it sits there and reminds you.
That is brutal. Tusini knows better than to mess with that. PB actually does cancel his base to try and pick something off here. They're going for a death bush here, but Psycho Carrot just looking for the quick wrap. Zyre Connor a bit caught out here. Hook does come down. Lots of flashes being burnt. Playing able to dodge the CC. Evan in a bit of trouble, but he gets so much damage down, and he flashes and hits a huge 3-man ulti. Orianna Shockwave immediately following up, and that's why this combo is so good. That's a clean 4 for 0. Shockwave, Mila ultimate. Absolutely insane. It's not going to secure him a dragon, but they get the big purple worm instead, which is a much better deal. Joey is still alive with ultimate, but he's at half health, so it's going to be really hard for him to contest this. They just have Psycho Carrot waiting there, trying to get him. Ideally, PB would come help them tank, but he doesn't feel like he needs to.
You say to everybody in the server, stop giving him Milo. We've seen what this guy has done before. Genuinely doing really good playmaking with the Apotheosis.
Yeah, that was insane. When I said that it's not a 1v1, one of the ADCs is fed, I said the wrong ADC, and that's my bad. Evan just obliterated them. It looked like he got caught out. He just presses W, and then he E-flashes his way in, pops the ultimate, and boom. There goes your entire team. We can expect another fight in about a minute. Both Neela and Orianna ults are going to be up. Orianna does have flash, which is pretty big here. Honestly, as metabusters, you might want to consider just not contesting this dragon and just giving it. That's going to be really hard for you to win until Cassidy hits 16.
Yeah, I don't think they have a bad scaling comp at all. You have a Cassidy, you have a Scion. Xayah is pretty good late game. So I think kind of biding your time the best you can, despite the fact that they're knocking on your door here soon.
Yeah, Orianna isn't here. Evan's kind of caught out by himself. He looked for a kill on Xayah. He just... Oh, he is going to find it. He just took the words out of my mouth. Joey ults in, and he kills him too. What the hell is happening?
What is that damage?
No one went behind him, and Orn's going to pick... Saiyan's going to pick up the shutdown, 850 gold, but they get the dragon for that, I think. Jesus.
Gosh.
That was insane. And now there's 3 people walking into a half choke point with an Orianna Shockwave available, which is not advisable. Olaf is cut out a little bit. Is probably just going to walk off this. He's calling for help from Cassante. Orianna's generally in the area, but Olaf's just trying to lifesteal as much as he can. The ult does come through from Cassante, and Tusini almost dies there. Isn't going to. He's just going to take a base here. Learned from his mistake last time, though. Doesn't want to try to complete the channel. But Corn did his best to try and stop him, but I think this dragon is just going to get picked up anyway. Supportal combat down here on the bottom side of the map, not really going to amount to anything. The Orianna shutdown was not claimed, but as we mentioned already, the huge shutdown did go over to Scion off the Neela, which is pretty impactful. No objectives on the map for about 3 minutes, so as metabusters you just want to not fight, and as MVP you want to take good fights. You have a huge advantage. Yeah,
subpar fights too, because Neela just absolutely tore through them earlier, just by herself for the most part.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, like, you get 3 kills, but then the last kill going to the other team was worth just as much as the first 3 was, so I don't know. It is tough to justify them.
Which I think is reasonable enough for a shutdown. It's the second best person it could go to, apart from Rakan. I think as long as their carries don't get it, it should be okay.
Yeah. Psycho Carrot is spotting him now in here, looking for a hook, not going to find it. Joey is now in the area, and no knowledge of that until just now from MTB. I think as long as you're able to pick Joey out of these fights, you're in a pretty good position. Psycho Carrot emoting on the ward did work. The aggro has been brought to him. It is hard to fish for Joey when other teammates are around, though. They don't know that Viego and Cassidy are channeling here. If they did, they could probably walk up. But I don't know. Both teams keeping pretty even in resources. The gold gap is about 4K and has been that way for a bit here. This could be bad though. Cassidy ulting over the wall. It's a huge play into Valor. Valor does have to burn the shockwave, but Tusini is getting so much done there. That damage from Valor is not something you can look down on, but boom, Cassidy is just scaled too much. Shutdown coming out from him. And the teammates for Valor just weren't there fast enough. But the upside here is that nothing's going to happen while Oriana's dead. So MVP isn't in too much trouble. They can just wait it out for the respawn. Xante and Zion applying pressure, but now Neela stepped up just a bit too far. Might be okay here, but the Cassidon is just super fed. The ult is now going to come off, but it doesn't go off in time, and that's a second shutdown being given over to the Cassidon. And Psycho Carrot is in no man's land.
Do you think that it's a worthwhile purchase from MetaBusters to be getting anti-heal for this team? Because I think it would be. You have an Olaf, Xante, Pyke, and Neela.
I mean, I definitely think it has some value. They have it on the Scion. I don't think anyone else really itemizes it that well. Cassidon needs too many other items. And Rakan doesn't work how we used, or whatever the hell it's called. Future Fire doesn't work like it used to. Is it even still in the game?
No, it's just Merlin.
Oh my god, Fuji almost just got one shot.
Yeah, that shockwave.
But now Tusini is just going to kill Valor. There's no one helping Valor here. Okay, he's popping his stopwatch, but he just doesn't have anything, so Tusini's going to pick him up. Tusini in a bit of trouble here, but he's now hit level 16. Ghost coming through. Psycho Carrot is going to pick him up with the ultimate. And now they're looking for Sion. Sion's so healthy, though. It's going to be really hard to kill him. Noam is running with about 1,000 health. Born is going to fall down to the two bruisers. Psycho Carrot, unfortunately for him, is going to miss that ultimate, and now he's going to get picked up by Joey. Noam flashing in for the engage, but Evan's about to join the fight. Joey playing as Pyke. Getting a bit aggressive, but now has to leave. Turning into Pyke actually might not have been the greatest idea because it became a lot squishier and took a fat chunk of damage there. As MVP here, I think you just kind of want to pace the map and then look for the dragon. There's no shot you get the Baron here, but now Joey actually gets into a lot of trouble here, gets stunned up, has to ult out. Only had it earlier because he possessed Pyke. And no shutdowns available on any champions. A gold lead cut down to only about 2,000 in favor of MVP. And Soul is on the map in 10 seconds.
I think this dragon fight's going to be a big crux point for this match. If MVP are able to utilize their ultimates well and their team fight AoE.
Looks like they're just trading. Except Valor is just completely caught out in the mid lane. It's taken so much damage, and then he walks closer to Tusini, away from his team. It's just going to get picked out here. Now the resets are coming through from Viego. Xante gets split off from his team again, and now MetaBusters is going to be able to kill everyone and just take both objectives. Evan can do a lot in these fights, but he can't do this much. Yeah, if he was able to grab Tusini there, there's an angle. Psycho Carrot able to pick one off the back of the fight, but I can't imagine he gets more than that. And Fuji's just looking to grab the dragon here. I mean, I'm going to say this, and you're going to be like hindsight warrior, but right before the fight started, I was going to say that what's really important is that Valor and Neela need to start playing with the team. Until Cassidy hits 16 or gets like really close to it, you're able to side lane pretty comfortably as those champions. But once Cassidy's fed, he can basically 1v1 anyone. You just have to be able to turn enough damage onto him to focus him down. But MVP has not been respecting that in the slightest, and they keep getting punished for it. And MetaBusters is just able to grab both epic monsters off the map here and grab the gold lead back. Really good stuff for MetaBusters here.
Gold lead's actually in MetaBusters favor now.
Yeah.
Not much, but it's a step in the right direction.
Yep, and I do favor their scaling a lot here. I think MVP had a point in this game where it was a pretty solid win, but after overextending a bit, they're in a really rough position now. And having 4 minutes of downtime is going to be super hard for them, just because any second that passes is going to favor Metabusters slightly more. And it's going to be harder to find these picks, especially now that Gaston's level 17, because he's going to be able to cover the map way better than anyone on Metabusters is going to be able to, or on MVP is going to be able to. Second carry completely caught here. Tusini does end up missing the ultimate. Could have had it just slightly off. But now Joey's side laning with Baron buff on the top side of the map. They have a 3-lane push set up. Joey walking out just to reset the dragon, knows that someone might be coming. Kasante walking up to cut him off, but Corrin just able to grab the bot side. Cyan has scaled up so much here, has 500 health just from one item. Just the stacking of one item. He's at 6,000 total. Gonna be really hard for anyone to kill him. And yeah, Kasante could be in trouble here. They're sending Rakan up to match him on the rotate. They're just... MVP's desperately trying to find any picks here. Julian is trying to stop Corrin, but like he's done what, 30 damage, 300 damage. It doesn't really matter.
Damage is the only thing in his kit that would even allow him to try and fight him. But the problem is that it's a flat amount. It's not very much. It doesn't matter how much you cycle, you're probably not killing that Sion anymore.
Yeah, and Tusini just kills Psycho Karen. Corrin is not dying here. Not before the tower goes down, at least. And you can utilize your passive here to obtain the inhibitor. He's trying to get a kill instead, though, just stalling their time. He was hoping he could get out there, but they body blocked pretty well. The Baron is about to expire in about 30 seconds. They're trying to grab this inhib before it does, but I think that's going to be a hard task for them to do. Task Among Us, yeah?
No.
Sorry, shout out Frostgarian. Among Us references in playoffs, important.
My brain melts. Can never escape it.
If you know, you know. That's all I'm going to say here.
I thought after Lethal Company became popular, that game would just die.
But see, it's funny. It's like Fortnite. I don't care if you play it or not. It's silly. Wait, Stanley, do you still have the Among Us button?
There's a button?
Yeah, a button that's on the Among Us. It's very important. Sorry, I digress. Metabusters has a pretty good chokehold in this game. Not on this PC. Okay. I mean, they have a scaled Cassidy. They have a scaled Ornn. Nothing else really matters. Viego is like a nice cherry on top. He could probably just grab a pentakill at any point in the game. Because he could just become Neela, or he could become Orianna, and now you're taking like 8 million damage. Don't really know what Metabusters could do to throw this game. They would probably literally have to int. So
I think it's a little closer than you might think, because while Metabusters is still favored in these fights, no doubt, one like good wombo, I think they could probably turn it around from that point, as long as Metabusters doesn't group up too much.
That's true. That's true. It is tough though. Cyan is super tanky. Cassidy also just has Zonias, so if he can press that button, he's in pretty good state. I just feel like they have a lot of tools to dodge combos. Pretty much everyone on their team has one. Viego's is death stance, so it's probably the worst out of all of them. But Viego does get hooked over there, but just pops the flash immediately. Pyke's now kind of gone the backside, he just used everything. Ult coming out onto Tusini by PB, pulling him out of the fight. And now Future and Noam are kind of cut out. Super split from them, which is the exact opposite of U1 as MVP, actually. Corrin looking for a knockup, isn't able to find it. Evan's now getting onto the backside, looking to get Future, but he's just getting burst down. And there goes that Zonias that we talked about. Tusini able to pick up a kill onto Evan. Evan being taken out of the fight is huge here. Now Cassidy, 2 kills, Zaya 1 kill. They're able to pick up Valor 2, and now Julian is dead, and this should just be the game. But they're gonna do it the slow way. They're gonna pick up their objectives. They're gonna grab Baron and then walk it down. It looks like. Possible that it's just gonna be Joey there. Yeah, they're committing a teleport here. They're gonna try and push the end. Second teleport going to the mid lane. Saya did not heal up very much.
Blue team's inhibitor has been destroyed.
Yeah, that is the first game going over 2 Metabusters in 36 minutes and 19 seconds.
Solid game from both sides.
Yeah.
I think they got just enough time to scale, because if MVP had grouped earlier and like sort of deathballed it, either mid or one of these major objectives, and gotten a good ult combo off, I think they just end the game off that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like scaling is just so favored in this meta, just because how like I feel like the items work and how a lot of the good champions are. If you're able to just outlast just a little bit, if the other team makes like 1 or 2 big mistakes, you give over shutdowns, that can really just cost you the game. I think just how much gold these shutdowns are worth is super important. Very big.
I'm expecting a Viego ban.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I really don't think Vygar is like a huge ban here. I don't know. MVP did well with possibly a suboptimal draft, but I think they just need to like stay a bit more locked in. It felt like they got pretty confident. They saw the game going really well for them, but they had that one thing earlier where they like all died, like the 5-for-0 ace, and then the couple big shutdowns that they gave over to Kassadin were pretty bad. And since like scaling is just like an archetype, you can't really just ban out in a way that prevents metabusters from just playing scaling. So they're going to have to find a different way to counter this strategy. Okay, it looks like Hongbaba is coming in for Korn, which is a huge roster change. For a team that already won, I don't know. I personally, as a captain, if I win the game, I don't like subbing. Period. But they are gonna mix it up. I felt like Korn played really well that game. But I guess if you do feel like your bot lane struggled a bit, which I felt like it was happening, I think it could be a good call there. Interested to see how this affects things.
Yeah, I think keeping Korn in or putting Teddy in, putting Korn out, I think both are reasonable choices in different ways.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see how it affects everything. But I don't know. I think it does throw a wrench in the draft plan. A lot of bans were put onto Korn, so maybe they just feel like if Teddy plays, he's more likely to get a champion he's comfortable on, or if they feel like maybe Noam's champ pool is wider top. But I don't know. It's going to be a bit of an adaptation. They have only 2 people on their roster are going to stay in the same spot. I believe it's going to be Hongbaba and Fujir bot lane, and then Noam is going to be playing top lane for them. So you really just have the jungle and mid matchup. One of those went really well for you as Metabusters, and the other one didn't as much, but kind of brought it back at the end of the game. So a lot of things could happen going forward here. MVP, it looks like, grabbed red side going into this, which I think does make sense, but I don't really know who you're saving the counter pick for. My personal vote would be for Julian. I feel like PB doesn't have much of like a counter pick playstyle here.
I think they're going to blind him a tank top laner regardless. So I think almost all of your bans are either put on Julian or Evan.
Yeah.
No disrespect to Valor, but trying to ban him out is kind of pointless now.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think
there
the
are
the
a
second
few
round
notable
Yasuo Silas bans I don't disagree with. I thought those worked pretty well, but
Mhm.
definitely not in the first round. I feel like he just
I think
plays too many champions.
Silas. Yeah, I think Silas is a ban that you're gonna have to watch out for, but only in the second round because it's very dependent on your comp. So
Yeah.
if you draft one and you're like, okay, they didn't pick mid, we have a lot of good ultimates, let's axe Silas, which that's fair. Yasuo, I guess it's more of a comfort thing. I don't know if specifically they don't have a matchup they want to play into Yasuo, or they thought it would just synergize well with the potential Neela, which could be true because of the knockup.
I mean, I think Kassadin definitely like doesn't do well into the Yasuo, so
Right, but I don't imagine they're looking to play Kassadin so much as they're keeping
no,
Kassadin on the burner.
I completely agree with you. I think Kassadin is definitely a niche counter pick to Oriana. I'm just saying I think Kassadin wouldn't work as a niche counter pick to Oriana and Yasuo, you know.
Yeah, that's fair.
But we will see.
I don't know. Maybe they give him Yasuo. We pull out the Renekton mid. Come on, I've been waiting to see it. I know the character's boring and we see it a lot in the top lane, but it's really funny in the mid lane.
Yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you. I do have a Renekton game in the mid lane in this server. I'm pretty sure.
My goats.
Um,
There's also a lot of very interesting mid picks right now. Malphite and Shen have both been seen played mid a lot.
Jesus.
Not on the server, but just in like
in pro
in
play?
general high elo.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of gross.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like anything I would invest with. I'm not gonna lie. That's like forbidden tech.
I mean, the Shen maybe, but the Malphite, come on. You don't
Oh
want to
yeah,
play
no,
AP
Malphite mid,
Malphite, go
Malphite mid's
Lich
based.
Bane.
Malphite mid is based. Shen mid is like a little crazy. I feel like a lot of the good like roaming ultimate characters are really good in the top lane, but the only reason that you play a lot of them mid is because you can reach more. But Shen's is like actually global, so there's no reason to do that.
Yeah, but you're a roaming mid laner as Shen, and then you just go right back to lane.
It's cringe. Actually, it looks like there's only one Renekton mid game this season, and it's Joel. Overall, I've played it. Silico's played it. Dave has played it, and I have played it. I have the highest KDA, which makes me the coolest.
I'm sure Joel is not looking to renew his Renekton license anytime soon. So.
Unfortunate. Silico did drop 15 kills and almost had a 4.20 KDA, so that actually makes him cooler than me. My apologies, sir. I was not aware of your game, or whatever the fuck Shaq said. But anyway, we're getting into draft here, and my draft link did not copy and paste correctly, so we don't get to see it for 2 seconds. And here we go. MetaBuster's waiting a bit on their first ban, but it should just be Wukong or Gragas. I don't think we're going to see anything crazy here.
Probably not. Just keep Julian under wraps. There's the Gragas.
Yeah, the Fat Man and the Monkey. 2 important.
I mean, they're both pretty good right now. Neither of which are like stellar, but both are reasonable and comfort picks. So
yeah, Viego taken away. I'm expecting to see 3 jungle bans to start this shit off.
As they should. They trying to keep my boy Joey down. I wonder if they now that Hong Baba's in, if they're gonna start targeting him a little bit more now that they got Viego out of the way.
Yeah, I mean, like you can add Jinx. Jinx is really good right now.
Jinx is
like
pretty good.
The rest of them I don't like as much. Just in terms of bans.
I don't know how strong Zeri is. I know he's a Zeri enjoyer. The character is always
Zeri is hypothetically better. I think at our level it's worse.
Right.
But Hong's Jinx is like the most cracked thing on the planet. I randomly solo queued with him the other night, or I was playing with some people. I invited Hong to my game. Bro was faded off the planet and still got a pentakill on Jinx. I mean, that said, it's like a Jinx pentakill, so like how much skill is really required? But no, bro popped off for sure.
Unfortunately, our games were not so good. Unsealed Spellbook, Aurelion Soul. Almost convinced it was Honan sniping our game. But Vhagar, interesting.
Pike ban is hovered. I mean, you definitely don't need to ban Darius anymore with Corrin out of the game.
I think Neela is a better ban.
Yeah, I like Neela here. I like Hui here. The Pike, I don't think did much.
Senna even, just not Pike.
Oh, no, Senna's the other team. Wrong team.
Oh, wrong team, wrong team, wrong
Yeah,
team.
yeah. This is where you ban Senna. But no, I feel like maybe this is like a bad take, but I feel like Viego and Pyke were like both like fake good champions that game because they did really well in the early game and then proceeded to do like nothing for the rest of the game. Because like Viego did well, but
I think Viego is still a worthwhile ban.
I
Pyke, not
agree.
so
I agree.
much. Because that is a comfort champ of his, and it does pretty well into Julian's pool when all said
Yeah,
is done.
yeah. But Cog Lulu is taken off the table here. I think there's a lot of other champions that are quite good that he can play, and I think you can play Cog with other things, but I don't think there's as much of a need to. First pick here, I would
Kog'Maw's
imagine.
just so disgusting.
Yeah, Sana could be a really good pick here, though. It is left up for future. They're picking Hui away. Okay, that's why we changed it out.
Big brain.
Neil's
I
on the
want to know where
table.
the Hui is going. It could go in 3 different places, maybe even 4 if you're ballsy enough.
My money would be on Future playing it personally.
It could definitely be Hui support. Could be Hui EC. They got a really cancer bot comp going on. I think it'd be funny.
I mean, Hui DC is like I have some
can be
thoughts on
good.
it. No, it's good. It is super hard to punish.
Sejuani locked first.
Dude, they are putting the fucking shackles on Julian, bro. This is
surely PB goes Sejuani top. You don't put Julian on Sejuani, man. Let the man carry.
Maybe he'll play Kasante jungle.
Please don't. As a jungler, please don't.
I mean, you might like get your full clear done by like 8 minutes. And Renata Glass locked in for Psycho Carrot with Pyke taken off the table. I do really enjoy this, especially if Taddy's going to be on a hyper. Good way to take the fed enemy champion and get him to kill his entire team. He could get a 9 kills on Jinx. That could be fun.
Janna. Oh, so it's not. It's not. Okay.
Surely it's not. Okay, it's okay.
There
I was going to say, Hui Janna is terrible. Do not pick that shit.
No, do not pick Janna with Hui.
Okay, this is like
shield.
This is like the counter to Jinx right now. It's like the only one that actually is better than it. MVP did pull this out against us. They picked it before the Jinx could be picked to prevent us from playing it, which I did not pick Jinx, so it worked.
I think Jinx Janna still wins this. Both characters have been good.
Yeah, I mean, they have like the best bot laner and the best support, and MVP has a counter to the best bot laner, and then Renata Glask also. Which, like, it could work. I'm not like super hype on it. I also like, since you have Sejuani, like you kind of do want a melee support there just to synergize with her on the roams. And with Twitch, honestly, like letting him be by himself for a bit, it's pretty good just because it's harder to bait. Unless you have a submarine combo, then you want to play with Twitch. But letting Twitch kind of be solo is nice because he can kind of like go in with his Q and catch people out individually. But if you see the support just walking around playing aggressively, like that gives it away.
The Malphite ban, interesting.
I think it's targeted towards Noah.
They did ban Silas, which is good here because Metabusters is drafting pretty decent ultimates all around.
Yeah, and the Yasuo. They just don't want to, like, I think Tusini probably just can't really play into those. He did struggle a lot into the Orianna early game, but was then gifted 2,000 gold, which it does happen to make your game a little bit easier to play.
A little bit. Yeah. I think Yasuo is definitely way better here because Hui being all skill shots that are pretty brutal if you miss like your Q interval before you get the CDR. Oh no, it is Sejuani jungle. I'm in shambles.
Yeah, well, okay. Julian is like asleep at his keyboard right now. Mason might also be asleep.
It's okay. I too was once bound to the Maokai ball and chain. I understand. Tank junglers.
I mean, okay, like
it is what it is.
Hate me, but I find Sejuani quite enjoyable. But I was talking earlier about how the Julian Joey matchup I feel like goes a lot better if Julian is playing a carry instead of a tank. He swaps to mostly tanks against Metabusters, and I don't think it works out well for him historically. But we are seeing the Trundle picked into Ornn and Sejuani, which is really good. You can also use Pillar to stop Ornn from getting his second cast of Ultimate off, which is pretty good. The one downside I'm seeing for Trundle immediately, though, is that if he gets Renata ulted, that's fucking bad news bears for your team.
It is, but at the same time, since a lot of his damage comes from his Q, if he doesn't get that off, or he doesn't have the general AD amp from it, then his damage gets lessened by a lot. Shouldn't be too bad.
Yep.
Kale.
And Kale and Torn. Okay, we have another champion that doesn't want to get hit by Renata Glask. But you have a tank, kind of. Like Trundle doesn't do a lot of the things that you normally want from your tank, but Jenna, Jinx, and Hui all actually have pretty good CC. So I think your comp actually rounds out a little bit. But if Twitch gets fed, everyone on this team is dying instantly. We are seeing Valor lock in Zoe in an elimination game. He is fucking going for it. This is nuts.
Putting all his chips on black. Come on.
Okay, I fucking hate MVP's comp. I'm gonna be real, it's bad.
Oh no, it's awful.
From a viewer's perspective, though, this is awesome. I couldn't have asked for anything better. He sees 4 squishy champions on their team. He's like, I'll one-shot him. Does he consider the fact that Kale can just ult whoever slept by the bubble? No. Does he care? Absolutely not. This guy is like, he put the sack on the table, so to speak, you know?
He really just said, look, I'm going to go all in on this one little facet. I'm better. I can win. We'll see if it pays off. I don't know. I will say, though, the rest of their team, you have like Ornn, Renata, Sejuani, you're looking for team fight. I don't know how well that's actually going to play out into this comp specifically. Kale, Trundle, both good side laners, so they may draw pressure. Ideally, you draw Ornn away, so that way that big team fight ultimate's gone. I guess we'll see how they want to divert their assets on the side of Metabusters.
Yeah, I mean, this game is a snowballing game and a half, and if it doesn't snowball, then Jinx and Kale will hit 3 items and level 16, and it's over.
MVP is
wow,
really on a crunch, even though, yes, you have a Zoe, you have a Twitch, you have an Ornn. They are not Kale, they are not Jinx, they are not Hui.
Yeah, I mean, their approach to countering the scaling was just draft scaling of their own. Unfortunately, they didn't draft more scaling, they just drafted like slightly worse and more assassin-y conditional scaling. I think if you're playing kind of cheesy and you can get picks, I think this is going to work out really well. But unfortunately, if you like get into any sort of disadvantaged position, it's going to be really hard for you to get anything done here.
MVP has a really good sit in a bush and wait for shit to happen comp.
Yeah.
Like 5-stack death bush, wait for someone to show up, Sejuani engages, and they're just dead. Within like a second. Snapped, turned to ash. Unfortunately, the rest of the team's going to probably melt you, but we may see a fed Twitch, or maybe Zoe pops off some way.
It could happen.
It could.
Yeah, I mean, the thing to talk about every time we see Zoe is that if Zoe is ahead, that champion is insanely oppressive.
Yes.
If her team is also ahead. Of all the champions in the game, the one that suffers the most from like battle lines kind of shifting, in my opinion, is the Zoe pick. Because if you don't have pressure from your team to protect you when you go a little forward with your teleport, you're in so much trouble. It's not even funny. So if MVP starts to fall at any sort of deficit, it's really hard for Zoe to get anything done. Just because anytime she can kind of look up for pressure, if the enemy team isn't able to immediately focus her, it's good for them, or it's good for the Zoe. But if there's any sort of leniency that allows them to jump on the Zoe, she's in so much trouble. It's a very squishy champion, and it involves, or like her gameplay revolves entirely around being able to find these picks and getting huge chunks off. But doing so always exposes her just a little bit, and like Jinx traps, Sway Fear, I don't know. It's just very tough. There's a lot of things you can aim at the back of Zoe's portal too, coming out from the other team. Very risky. But if Valor's able to get it done, it's going to be a hell of a game to watch. So I am very excited for this. I just question the stability of MVP's comp. The huge upside of the comp, though, is that if Metabusters loses to this comp, they will all install League of Legends from their computers and won't play the last game of the series, which is really good for MVP.
That would be good for MVP, I can't deny.
Yeah, I don't know. Typically, when you see the Zoe, you see Zoe with a bit of a stronger early game top jungle. Usually something like a Predator style jungle that's gonna go super aggressive, invade, and then you want something like a Renekton that's gonna give you really good setup for your bubbles. You have the exact opposite of that. And we also have one melee champion with a first round Sejuani. I don't know. It's rough. It's rough.
I'm gonna keep it a stack. If they don't win early, they're cooked.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. You have Zoe? That's
Simply
true.
put, Shrimple as, you ain't getting far. You really aren't.
Yeah, I mean, I want this game to be really fun. Completely honestly, I don't have too much hope for MVP's comp here, but if they clutch this off, it will be an insane game.
It will be
So, you know.
very entertaining, and I would like to see a game 3.
Me too. That's my one big ask for this series, is that I'd like to see it go the distance, but I just exploded something all over my room. I'm gonna step on a Lego later today. It's gonna be over.
It's gonna be so over.
I think we forgot to do a podcast episode for this series. I've been really busy.
Oh, that's
and
fair.
sick too. I actually don't think I could have made it through a podcast episode until today. But you know, excuses. Sejuani, Trundle even. Sejuani has done slightly better. Twitch Jinx also even. Jetta Renata also pretty even. I don't think that we could actually read too much of these matchups. Kayle Ornn is very Kayle favored. But we haven't seen it before. Zoe Hui, I have no idea on. I assume if Valor picked it, there's probably some sort of good matchup there, but so I feel like it's such a conditional champion that you need to look at the rest of the map. Lane matchup doesn't matter that much. In my opinion, Hong has played 22 games of Jinx and has won 13 of them. Fujer 2-0 on this champion. Both of those champs are really good. Noam 0.7 KDA on the Kayle. A bit of a weak side warrior. The Kayle is a bit interesting. BB has smurfed on the Ornn. And as I said, Julian struggling a bit more on tanks than other champions. And Joey, nothing really to note on the Trundle other than that he's played it before. Double first time for the mid lane. Should be pretty spicy. I'm just going to skim these real quick. I don't think there's anything notable here. Other than, I guess Hong has never played Evan before. But, oh, right. I think when Hong subbed in, that was versus Andromeda. Okay. I got some wires crossed up in the brain there, but we should be getting into game pretty soon. I'm gonna kick it back to draft just to take a look at it. But
give it a quick once over to make sure we didn't miss something.
Yeah, I'm gonna go grab a drink. My throat is dying.
That's fair.
All right, I'll mute up. You can just kind of carry us into game real quick.
Sure, why not? Ugh. The fucking EP strikes again. I don't know how much they want to put on MVP's bot. It feels kind of crutchy. Sejuani full clearing down may give them a little bit. Level 4 Trundle probably pats up. See if there's any invade or shenanigans going on. Hillblade's Jonah. I honestly didn't know that was still around.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
And PTA Twitch looking for a bot invade.
30 seconds until minions
So I
spawn.
think Teddy sees them. Psycho's gonna flash. No, okay. They're seen, they disengage, playing it safe.
Minions have spawned.
They've gotten a mana flow proc, so that's nice at least. But the next ring over here, there it does get that, but it doesn't actually do much. PB getting caught out here on the top side does have to burn Flash. Now that PB doesn't have Flash, it could definitely be a top gank angle early on. See how early they want to try, if at all.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, it looks like nothing really happened in the early game.
Actually something did. They failed an invade bot, nobody died. And
Oh,
then
Ward Flash.
Yeah, they pushed into their top jungle. Metabusters pushed into MVP's top jungle. They caught PB, and he had to flash over the wall. So I'm wondering if
Oh
they
yeah,
put
double
more
leap
pressure
from this round.
They tried to invade bot, but Teddy saw him and they backed off. Glad they're not doing anything overzealous in the early. I was honestly expecting Psychic Carrot to flash for it.
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't hate it. He's able to get a good root there. Evan does get knocked up here. It takes a lot of damage. He's super low.
Halo Blade Shot is interesting. I said a little bit ago that I didn't know that it was still like the thing to run. I thought that it kind of been phased out and replaced by Airy. But maybe it's better here. You do have the early game advantage, even on Jinx. Especially with the AD that you get. And Tusini's getting a lot of damage down on Valoran early.
Yeah, we're seeing huge lane leads from every single lane for Metabusters, and Fujer is basically just pushing Sejuani off this camp, forces the smite out. It's not looking great. Valor just has to auto trade there. It is enhanced, but Valor almost just dies there. I wonder if the QW maybe would have done more damage?
Yeah, QW, if he's below a certain health threshold, it will. So he probably could have killed them there.
Yeah, I mean, you can also just keep him there and just kill him now.
Oh,
That's first blood
no.
going to Tusini. Gets revenge from last game. Julian looking to fish this up, but I just don't think he's getting it. Tusini has flash, so you would have to match it. And that's no mana from Tusini, though, so he's probably going to have to take a reset there.
Place harass early game, especially if you're not going the tier route and you can be a little bit more aggressive with your Doran's ring. You have a lot more damage than Zoe does, since you don't have such long intervals. Trundle might be looking to get a blind here, or just taking camps, depending on stuff. I can't see if the Gromp is. I think he's just waiting.
Oh, no.
Oh no, it is up. Did it freeze?
Frank, we're fine. Knocking on wood. We're good. Nothing can happen. We're fine.
Inshallah,
Gromp is up. He's going to take Gromp.
It will be fine.
I zoom in really fine. Nothing bad can happen.
No. It's okay. They must have paused.
Yeah.
Why is it always game 2?
Dude, Stanley is fucking raking in the big bucks on the channel points. Can you pull it up and see if you can spectate in League Kidiri?
Sure.
Alright. If you can get it working, then I will restart my client and just re-hop in. But we'll see. Team, it's okay. We knew who won this game anyway.
Non-biased caster.
Hey, I'm not biased. If I saw these same drafts with the teams reversed, I would be saying the same shit.
You are not wrong, though. He's kind of spitting.
Wait, did I just hear a teleport?
It is a bit wrong.
Wait, every time I mouse over a new champion, I hear their sound effect.
Interesting.
No one was doing anything top lane.
Spectator's tool seems to be working for me on my end.